Yo, the streets are heated. Philly to Toronto, tension rising high. Meek Mill on the grind, Drake with that sharp, calculating eye. The battleground is set, fans screaming in the night. Every tweet, every post, this beef is ready to ignite. Word on the block, Meek got the receipts in hand, Drizzy moving silent, but the streets understand. Shots fired on social feeds, subliminals dropping heavy, bars hit hard, both sides ready, streets steady, it's a clash of titans. East Coast versus the North, legacy on the line, nobody willing to back off. From studio sessions to the corners, rumors take flight, crowds hold their breath. Watching every move in sight, Meek saying, Philly's pride, I ain't going away. Drake hit back, Ovo's king, I don't play. Diss tracks dropping, fans reacting insane. Rap streets explode. Everybody knows the name, from the blocks to the charts, every verse a fight. Every line spit heavy, every rhyme tight. Who's gonna fold first? Nah, this is war. Meek versus Drake, city pride to the core. Streets whisper, rumors twist, truths get bent. This beef will echo. Respect what they both meant. Philly stands tall, Toronto won't fall. Meek Mill versus Drake, hip-hop's ultimate brawl. The streets were talking, whispers turning into roars. Philly versus Toronto, a rivalry reignited. Meek Mill, the pride of Philly, had been quiet for a minute, but the underground knew something was brewing. Social media was blowing up. Every fan, every blogger, every street account speculating on the next move. And then it hit. A subtle subliminal in a Drake track. Something only the sharpest ears caught. Philly ears perked up. Meek Mill wasn't gonna let that slide. The tension started in the studio. A few shots fired over Instagram stories. Fans went wild. The energy in Philly streets was electric. Posters of Meek Mill. Old battles remembered, every corner buzzing with talk of retaliation. Meanwhile, Drake was calm, calculating his Toronto crew backing every move. But the streets smelled blood. Rap beef wasn't just bars. It was loyalty, pride, and city respect. Meek Mill hit the booth the next night. The track dropped on SoundCloud and the streets instantly reacted. Lines aimed at Drake's past, questioning loyalty, calling out OVO's rise versus Philly grit. Bars heavy with history, reminders of past feuds, calling back to Drake's back-to-back era. Philly fans erupted. Toronto listeners were quick to defend. Social media turned into a battlefield. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all streets and fans giving their verdict. Then came the leaks. Clips from studio sessions, snippets of Drake replying quietly, but with bars that stung. The subtle nods, the references only die-hard fans would catch. It was chess, not checkers. Every move calculated, every word a weapon. Meek Mill's response, even sharper, hitting streets hard with lines that reminded the world why. Philly wasn't backing down. The first round of this beef wasn't about violence, it was about respect. Diss tracks, social media digs, fan reactions, the streets were alive. Hype men, bloggers, and influencers fed the flames, every side taking a stand. Philly said, our king won't fold. Toronto said, OVO runs these streets. The war of words was escalating, and just when the fans thought it was settling, Meek Mill hit the airwaves. Interviews, late-night shows, snippets of studio leaks everywhere. Philly's pride was loud, reminding Drake and the world that the city's heartbeat was strong. Unbreakable. Toronto responded quietly but deadly. Drake didn't need to overexpose himself. Every bar, every subtle lyric, every nod in videos carried weight. Fans listened, replayed, dissected lines, every subtle jab analyzed. The beef was moving fast. Every second a story, every lyric a headline. In Philly streets, murals of Meek Mill reminded fans that their king wasn't just fighting Drake, he was fighting for city pride. In Toronto, banners and social chatter reminded everyone that Drake's throne wasn't in danger. Both sides are fueled by loyalty, respect, and love for the craft. And this was just the beginning. The tension between the cities, the artists, the crews was heating up. Social media buzzed, diss tracks prepared, old footage resurfaced, fan debates turned into arguments. Arguments turned into street chants. Philly versus Toronto wasn't just a title anymore, it was a cultural moment. And rap streets were ready to witness the ultimate showdown. The stage is set. The battleground isn't a fight in the street, it's a lyrical war. Bars will fly, fans will react, history will watch. Meek Mill versus Drake, Philly versus Toronto, and everyone knows, the next round is about to explode. Meek Mill wasn't holding back. Within days he dropped a new track, a lyrical missile aimed straight at Drake. Bars loaded with Philly pride, calling out subtle jabs Drake had made over the years. Fans dissected every line, every reference a piece of the puzzle, every punchline a direct hit. The streets were alive. Corners in Philly echoed with Meek's voice blasting through speakers. Toronto wasn't silent. Drake's response was subtle but deadly hidden bars. In his upcoming album, clever wordplay aimed at Meek and Philly, references only insiders could catch. The contrast in style, Meek aggressive, raw, street-focused, Drake smooth, calculated, lyrical finesse added fuel to the fire. Social media went into overdrive. TikTok clips, reaction videos, memes, everyone picked a side. The hashtags trended instantly. Hashtag Meek vs Drake, hashtag Philly vs Toronto, hash rap beef 225. The fans' reactions were extreme. Philly loyalists flooded streams replaying Meek's verses, dissecting punchlines, showing why Philly would never fold. Toronto stans countered with Drake's clever references, subtle digs at Meek's past battles, and tweets mocking Philly's hype. Rap forums lit up with analysis videos breaking down bars line by line. Every beat, every rhyme was under a microscope. Influencers jumped in. Bloggers speculated about possible studio confrontations, possible live battles, or surprise collabs turning into confrontations. Radio hosts debated who really had the edge. The streets whispered rumors of unreleased tracks, leaked snippets, and surprise features that could tip the balance. Meek Mill escalated further. He released a visual for one of his diss track shots of Philly streets, murals of legends and cryptic nods to Drake's hometown Toronto. Fans in Philly went wild, sharing clips, shouting lyrics in the streets, proving their loyalty. Toronto responded with subtle hints in music videos, social posts, and interviews showing Drake didn't need to shout to dominate the narrative. By now, this beef wasn't just about music. It was about pride, legacy, and city honor. Fans argued endlessly online, analysts dissected every lyric, and every new release was met with hype, scrutiny, and reaction videos. The energy was insane. Philly versus Toronto wasn't just a rap beef. It was a cultural moment, and just when everyone thought it couldn't escalate further, rumors of a possible live showdown in the future started circulating. Philly streets buzzed. Toronto fans stayed calm, confident Drake had moves planned that no one had seen yet. The war was heating up, and the next round of this battle promised bars, visuals, and street-level reactions that would shake hip-hop to its core. The beef is no longer a story, it's an event. Meek Mill versus Drake, Philly versus Toronto, streets versus socials, diss tracks, visuals, leaks, and fan debates. The war is just getting started. Everyone knows the next verse, the next track, the next move will decide who holds the crown in this legendary rap war. The streets were buzzing like never before. Part 1 had set the stage, but now the real war was about to ignite. Meek Mill wasn't holding back anymore. Philly's pride was on the line, and the first diss tracks had already leaked online. Bars aimed at Drake's past victories, questioning loyalty, fame, and credibility. Every line hit hard. Every verse was calculated to strike the core of Toronto's pride. Fans immediately reacted. Twitter threads exploded. Instagram stories dissected every lyric. TikTok reactions poured in. Street corners became discussion boards, echoing with fans, replaying lines like they were gospel. Drake, however, stayed calm. He didn't need to rush. OVO's team started preparing their counterattack. Clips from studio sessions leaked online, a few lines here, a few subtle jabs there. Nothing direct, but enough to make Philly listeners tense. His subtlety was a weapon. Drake understood that rap beef wasn't just about shouting, it was a chess game. He knew how to throw punches without overexposing himself. Every lyric, every nod, every hidden reference was analyzed by diehard fans, creating a storm that even the mainstream media couldn't ignore. Meanwhile, the streets weren't quiet. Philly murals of Meek Mill were buzzing with energy, the city rallying behind their king. Our boy won't fold, people shouted. Toronto had its own set of believers, chanting Drake's accomplishments, reminding the world of OVO's dominance. This wasn't just about music anymore, it was a war of pride, cities, and legacy. Every fan felt like a participant. Every comment online carried the weight of loyalty. The diss tracks kept coming. Meek Mill dropped a track titled City Pride, hitting hard at Drake's subtle jabs and calling out OVO's history. Lines like Philly streets raised me, can't fold to no fake throne resonated with fans. Streets lit up, every car stereo blasting the track, every block, every corner store playing it loud. Toronto fans fired back, analyzing Drake's hidden bars on Silent Power, a track dripping with subliminals aimed at Meek. Every line dissected on forums, every reference debated. The battle was no longer just bars, it was cultural commentary. Social media intensified the beef. Memes, fan edits, reaction videos, every platform was alive. TikTokers recreated lines. Instagram users debated lyrics. YouTube channels dissected bars verse by verse. Fans weren't just watching, they were living it. From Philly to Toronto, streets felt like a war zone, but the only weapons were words and loyalty. Even other rappers started chiming in, some taking sides, some offering subtle commentary. Everyone knew this was a historic rap beef. The history between the two rappers added fuel to the fire. Meek Mill's past battles with Drake were well known. The streets remembered back-to-back era Drake's previous wins, Meek's return to form. Toronto fans reminded everyone of Drake's consistency, his awards, his dominance. Philly fans countered with Meek's lyrical prowess, his street credibility, and the fact that he represented the realness of the city. Every argument was layered, every fan passionate. This wasn't a simple feud, it was a battle of legacies. Then came live reactions. Meek Mill made surprise appearances in Philly block parties, performing snippets from the diss tracks. Crowds went wild. Chants of Meek, Meek, Meek filled the air. Toronto fans countered with live reactions from listening parties, analyzing Drake's subtle lyrics, replaying each line to catch hidden meanings. Every city felt like a front line. Social media clips of these events went viral within hours. The world was watching. Radio interviews and podcasts amplified the drama. DJs dissected bars, asked fans for reactions, and debated potential next moves. Music analysts broke down rhyme schemes, subliminals, and historical context. Fans hung on every word. Every interview added a new layer to the beef. Every reaction kept the momentum alive. It wasn't just a rap battle, it was a movement, a cultural moment spanning cities, platforms, and generations. Even smaller details mattered. A leaked studio clip of Meek Mill laughing while recording lines sparked discussions online. "He's confident," fans said. A subtle Drake Instagram post, just a hand gesture in a video, had Philly fans debating for hours. Every micro-action became a headline. Every second mattered. The rap beef had evolved into a full-blown narrative, captivating millions. The diss tracks kept escalating. Meek Mill released Philly Heat, a hard-hitting track aimed directly at undermining Drake's street credibility. Lyrics referenced Toronto's past controversies, questioning loyalty and authenticity. Fans reacted instantly. Twitter hashtags trended. Hashtag Philly Heat. Hashtag Meek vs. Drake. Hashtag Rap Beef. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Every major music influencer dissected every line. Predicting the next move, Drake responded with Northern Shadows, a track dripping with referencing Meek's past battles and calling out Philly's obsession with proving dominance. His smooth delivery contrasted Meek's raw aggression, creating an intense dynamic. Fans debated which style hit harder. Both sides felt the tension escalate, both lyrically and culturally. The streets themselves became part of the narrative. Murals, fan chants, and local radio stations were active participants. In Philly, block parties featured Meek Mill tracks blasting loud. In Toronto, fans held listening sessions for Drake's subtle disses. Even fans from outside the cities joined the debate online. The rap beef was no longer local, it was international, and just when everyone thought the escalation had peaked, social media leaked a possible collab snippet: Drake and Meek Mill appearing on the same stage during an award show. Tensions palpable. Fans went wild, speculating if they'd battle live or call a truce. Clips went viral. Headlines screamed, "City Pride meets OVO. Will history be made?" Streets were tense. Anticipation electric. The beef isn't over. Diss tracks, subliminals, fan reactions, and City Pride fuel a fire that's only growing. Philly versus Toronto isn't just a title anymore, it's history in the making. And one thing is certain, the next round of bars, the next drop, will shake hip-hop to its core. The streets were on fire. Philly and Toronto had been holding their breath for weeks. Every diss track, every studio snippet dissected and debated. Part 2 had escalated the battle to a boiling point. But now, the moment everyone was waiting for had arrived, the climax. Fans everywhere knew that this wasn't just about bars anymore. It was about legacy, city pride, and who could dominate hip-hop streets. The tension started with a surprise live. Meek Mill hit the stage first, performing an extended version of Philly Heat. The crowd went wild, chanting every word. His delivery was flawless, raw, and commanding. Lines hit hard at Drake's subtle plays, calling out Toronto's hidden jabs and referencing old controversies. Philly streets erupted. The energy was palpable. This was more than a performance. It was a statement. Drake's response came hours later. He dropped Northern Shadows Extended, a lyrical masterpiece. Subliminal jabs aimed directly at Meek Mill's street credibility, while also boasting about his chart dominance and international influence. Toronto fans went insane, analyzing every line, dissecting every rhyme, and posting reaction videos. Social media exploded. Every news outlet, every fan page, every hip-hop blog had the beef at the top of their headlines. The internet became a battlefield. TikTok and Instagram reels showing fan reactions, meme battles. and side-by-side comparisons of diss tracks dominated feeds. YouTube reaction channels exploded, with commentary videos getting millions of views. Even casual music listeners were tuning in to see how the streets were responding. Fans weren't just watching, they were living it. Philly fans defended Meek Mill fiercely. Toronto fans responded just as aggressively. Comments, likes, and shares skyrocketed. Every platform was alive with debate. The culmination of this beef wasn't just online. Street events mirrored the tension. Listening parties in Philly were packed, fans chanting Meek's lines. In Toronto, pop-up events and club parties were devoted entirely to Drake's countertracks. Murals, graffiti, and fan art celebrated both artists while intensifying city pride. The beef had grown beyond music hit, had become cultural, historical, and iconic. Then came the twist. Rumors surfaced of a potential collab or face-off at a major hip-hop awards show. Clips leaked of Meek Mill backstage looking focused, and Drake in his element, cool and collected. Fans speculated endlessly. Would they battle live, call a truce, or drop a joint track? The suspense kept the streets and social media buzzing. Every second counted, every movement analyzed. Fan verdicts started pouring in. On social media polls, debates, and forums, opinions split, but one thing was clear. Both rappers had elevated their legacy. Meek Mill proved Philly's streets still mattered, his lyrical aggression unmatched. Drake showed why he dominated globally, even when attacked subtly. The beef wasn't about a winner or loser, it was about respect, skill, and city pride. Hip-hop fans everywhere recognized the genius in the clash. As the dust settled, both artists released statements. Meek Mill thanked his fans for loyalty, emphasizing Philly's influence on hip-hop. Drake acknowledged Meek's skills, praising Philly's culture while reaffirming OVO's global dominance. The streets had witnessed history. The beef had grown legends, created viral content, and reminded the world why rap beefs define culture, loyalty, and artistry. Yo, the streets just witnessed history. Philly's Meek Mill and Toronto's Drake went bar for bar, track for track, and city for city. And now it's time for you to make your voice heard. This isn't just a story. This is hip-hop culture, loyalty, and legacy on full display. Every verse dropped, every subliminal hit, every fan reactionette, all led to this moment. Now, we need the real verdict. Who's the king of this clash? Is it Philly's Meek Mill, holding it down with raw energy and street credibility? Or Toronto's Drake, smooth, calculated, and globally untouchable? The streets are talking, the memes are flying, and the debate is hotter than ever. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your favorite lines, your favorite diss track, and why you think your side won this legendary battle. We want to hear it all. And don't stop there, hit that like button if you felt the heat from this epic showdown. Smash subscribe so you never miss a rap beef, a street feud, or exclusive hip-hop drama that's shaking the culture. Turn on notifications to stay locked in with every verse, every leak, every reaction as it drops. Share this video with your crew, your city, your block, because every fan matters in this battle. Philly and Toronto are watching, the streets are listening, and your opinion counts. Remember, this isn't just music hits a movement. Be part of the conversation. Be part of history, so tell us now who really took this round. Meek Mill or Drake? Let the streets decide. Meek Mill or Drake? Let the streets decide.